Before we get started, I just want to say thanks again to Vela Games for allowing me exclusive access to the game to record this footage. But anyway, let's get started. In Evercore Heroes there are 3 different main roles: support, tank, and damage. In today's video we're just going to have a look at damage. Currently in the game there are 2 damage characters: Shade and Cynder. Cynder is a ranged mage whose kit mainly revolves around fire and he likes to take occasional risks. Shade is what I like to call an aggressive assassin who's very agile and she cannot sit still. Shade's auto attack is melee ability that has a passive. The passive is that it does 30% when attacking enemies from behind. That passive also applies to her E. Her E is a single target slash that does a considerable amount of damage. Her right click is an instant teleport to either right in front of where she's facing or a place you choose. Her shift is a slashing ability that deals damage to all caught in the slash. And finally her ult. Her ult creates a clone of Shade that taunts all enemies in an area, and after a while of charging up, it will explode, dealing a huge amount of damage to all enemies in range of the explosion. Now I've got 2 tips for you when playing Shade. One is for her ult. Try and keep your ult for when there's a big group of enemies gathered together for maximum effectiveness. If not, try and gather them together. And my second tip is for her teleport. Try and keep your teleport because your HP will disappear faster than you can say I'm a lethal ballerina.
Too slow to play the game.
Now before we move on to Cynder, there's one interesting thing to note about the game. For every single hero, melee attacks are physical power, and for spell attacks, it's spell power. Now this means that you can build different heroes in very different ways. But now let's move on to Cynder. For Cynder's auto attack, it's fairly straightforward, it's just ranged fireballs. Cynder's right click sets an inferno bomb in the ground, and after a short delay it explodes, dealing damage to anyone who is in the bomb. Cynder's shift ability, he sends out a large fireball instead of a small fireball of his auto attacks, which does a decent amount of damage to the first enemy hit. For Cynder's ult, he creates fiery aura around himself for 8 seconds that deals damage every second to enemies inside of it. And last but not least, his E. His E ability is where his risk taking comes out, because his E is a short range cone of fire that deals damage to everyone caught inside of it. Don't underestimate the damage of the cone because it's some fiery goodness. Now you might have noticed I haven't given any build recommendations yet, and that's because for both of them you can either go physical damage or spell power. Only one shard I would really say is a must-have on Cynder, and that shard is Parting Gift, because it makes his abilities even more powerful than they already are. And that concludes the damage for the game. So that said, there's nothing left but to boogie down, wishlist the game, and get ready to play when it comes out. Don't forget to build my shard, and come follow the adventures on Twitch.